Do not attempt to adjust your set. This is a streaming freedom video bulletin. It cannot be stopped, and it is the only free voice left on the net. Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. The following Skyrim video on PS4 is not a showcase, but more of a PSA and a warning, especially for those of you that might be newer to modding Skyrim, about something that you could encounter that's available for download right now on PS4 and PS5, and that is mods that contain external assets. This violates the TOS, or Terms of Service, that was agreed upon between Bethesda and Sony, as Sony does not allow external assets of any kind on their systems. Now, I have temporarily downloaded and installed a mod that contains external assets that I will be removing for educational purposes so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about, but this is not a showcase. So this is an example of an external asset. Door icon that you're seeing over the war main's name, as well as the hand icon over the workbench name, and if we go to a character like Serana here, the talk icon. These icons and various others were added in by a mod that adds Oblivion interaction icons into the game. They're not a part of the base game of Skyrim. They are a PC mod that has been ported to PlayStation that contains external assets and got by Bethesda. I originally was intending to showcase this mod, but after checking out to see that it was safe as well as if it would make for a good showcase, I started to highly suspect that the icons were indeed external assets. Being as I'm not familiar with Oblivion or any of the other games in the Elder Scrolls series, only Skyrim, I did not know if these icons were actually from Oblivion or if they were icons in Skyrim that were either cut content or repurposed from other areas of the game to mimic Oblivion's icons. So I ended up messaging a friend about this that is a mod author that did not have anything to do with this mod, but I highly respect and trust his word. The mod author is RLCoolJ, and I asked him about that, and he said that he looked into the game's texture files and that the icons are for sure not a part of the base game. So that tells me 100% that these are external assets, and this is not the only mod that I've found recently that contains external assets, as I'm going to be showing you this and another that I know do contain external assets that have been ported to PlayStation by the same mod author in the footage that I cut in right here. So this is the mod author that I wanted to cover. His name, or her name, I don't know. Their name is KigoPorts PSN. This is an example of a couple of mods that I know contains external assets, Oblivion interaction icons, as well as Reforging to the Masses. Both of these mods contain external assets. They add something into the game that is not a part of the base game, as well as it is not added in by CC content. I can try to kind of give you an example down here with these pictures. I may show some of this in game too. I haven't decided yet. But these icons here, these are either from or inspired by, but they're handmade custom icons from Oblivion. And the problem with that is that violates the terms of service by Sony. Sony does not allow external assets of any kind on their platform. They never have. The other mod that contains external assets to watch out for is this one, Reforging to the Masses. This mod adds in 300 new weapons, but these are not recolors, even though they use vanilla textures. They are completely new models that were not part of Skyrim originally, any of the CC or DLCs. I don't know if these mods contain external assets. I would assume though that they probably do, being as they're all ported by the same mod author. And I do want to state that as far as I know, the mod author did not create these, only ported them from PC to PlayStation. And I'm not saying anything against this mod author or the original mod creators. It's simply, again, that external assets violates the TOS. So that is the reason for this video. And so what you just saw was an example of at least two mods that I know currently have external assets that are available on PlayStation. And they were both ported by the same mod author, and there could be more. And I want to make it perfectly clear that I'm not trying to say anything negative against this mod author. I'm sure their intentions were good. They were trying to bring us some more unique mods that we didn't have access to on PlayStation. It could be a new mod author that is unaware of the terms of service and the no external assets rule. I would think that that would be pretty common knowledge in the Skyrim community, as even people that are not on this platform know of the restrictions imposed by Sony and the limitations of mods that we're allowed to have. I'm also not saying anything negative about the mod itself or the original mod author and their work for it. It's a perfectly fine mod for PC, and honestly, in my opinion, it's a perfectly fine mod here on PlayStation. From what I've tested of it, it works perfectly fine. I haven't had any issues yet. I haven't tested it that long. But that is regardless, it still violates the terms of service Bethesda had to agree to with Sony in order for us to even have mods on PlayStation, or we wouldn't have any. And so what does that mean for us as the end user? That is the point of this video, especially for newer players, to make you aware of it so that you can make an informed decision as to whether you even want to download something like this or not, which again, I am not advocating that you do. Because as an end user, even though I'm going to be deleting it, I'm honestly not certain if I'm violating the terms of service by having the mod installed. Again, I'm going to be removing it. It was for educational purposes, but as the end user, as the player, do we violate the TOS by using these mods when they're not supposed to be here, or is that completely on Bethesda? And any mod authors that maybe know the answer to that question, please feel free to let us know in the comments down below, as well as can this type of mod, since it has external assets, could it cause us additional issues that we wouldn't have with mods that are normally available on our platform, either removing it or using it in the long run, whatever, being as again it's not normally allowed here. If you know, please feel free to share it in the comments down below, as you're way more knowledgeable than this than I am. Because again, the information that you're getting here, viewers, please remember, it's just coming from a fellow gamer. I'm not an expert. I'm just trying to do my best to let the community be aware so that we don't have any issues. If you do decide that you want to, if you have installed one of these mods and you want to remove it, what I suggest doing, what I've always done, is for one, I have a manual save from a point before I ever installed the mod that I call my safe save that I can revert back to. I go into the creations menu, I disable the mod, I delete it, I reload the files, I then close the Skyrim app and relaunch it. I then load the save that was the manual save that was made at the point before the mod was ever installed. And in doing that, I'm still on my original character that I've had all these years, my original playthrough, testing all kinds of mods. I've had issues like 0KB from testing mods after 0KB was supposed to be fixed. Time scale going absolutely batshit crazy from a mod that isn't the current time scale mod I'm using, but that I had massive issues with, all kinds of shit. And it's always worked for me, in my experience, deleting a mod the way that I just mentioned. I do want to quickly, before closing this video out, say to the mod authors on PlayStation, because really you guys and gals, don't get enough credit for what you do for us. Given the restrictions that are placed on you and the amazing content that we can get, I just want to say thank you. I really do appreciate, and I think we as a community as a whole really do appreciate the time and effort you put into this content that is free content to us that you're not really making anything on, just to enrich our experience in the game. And those of you that do make certain to follow the terms of service so that there are no issues for us, the end user. Thank you for taking the time to watch the video. Take care. This has been a Streaming Freedom Video Bulletin. Peace out.